Hey folks, I just thought I'd give everyone an update on what exactly I've been getting up to here in the creative side of Empyrion. Um, so with the release of the Taurus, there is a lot of good praise and recommendations about the build, one of which was to potentially make a fully upgraded version, um, maybe even one that's armored, as the initial build is plastic, keep the weight down to make it easier to spawn in and for the default thrusters to be able to lift it. I did come up with something here. This I'd like to call the Project Minotaur. Is significantly upgraded, upgunned as well. In the process right now of armoring it up, which I'll probably just replace all of the plastic with steel outright, and some of the important sectors will be reinforced with hardened steel and such. So top profile has been stretched out a little bit to accommodate additional turret placement. So that's the thing going forward as well. This bit here has been extended out to allow additional placement of a turret there. Still working out what I want to do with the bottom profile, whether I'll extend that or not. It seems to be pretty sufficient as it is with turret placement. So what I got going on inside is I swapped out the farms. I'm making some expansion here to accommodate some of the bigger shielding. Not quite the biggest size shields, but you will be able to double up on the medium-sized shields for Reforged Eden. There has also been placement made for advanced generators, so you'll be able to outfit a pair of those in here. I will go through a texture change for the interior as well, because I'd like to have it be distinct from the Taurus in aesthetic, at least as far as the look of it, the texture and such. There was some, a little bit of change to the body design and all that to give it some sort of distinction, but that's not going to be drastically different, but it should be noticeable. Color scheme is kind of a callback to my planet side days where I like the Terran Republic, the black and red color. There was also mention in the workshop where somebody had requested that coloration as well. So I had in mind to do some alternate colors, either like a red or black, or potentially a yellow or black. So I think this would serve as a good secondary color for the Phoenix Star Wars faction. So look to see some more of this in the future. So one of the other popular comments about what I've got going on is people have been requesting an SV, or have been curious, if I've made an SV or to have any plans. I haven't, up to this point, I hadn't made any, and I kind of got busy on that, and so let me show you what come out of it. So these are going to come in as starters, and they're highly moddable, and you will have a good choice of defining your role. You have like two turret placements. A lot of these hard points are designed to accommodate additional thrusters, weapon mounts, additional things like that. Let me see if I can spawn in one I already have established. So this just kind of give an idea of what kind of upgrade capacity they have. These will upgrade to Core 9, and it will allow for a variety of options with the interior. Now you could go with like a full shield loadout if you want to stay in system, or you would be able to have capacity for warp, shield. So I guess the default loadout would be, considering vanilla, you'd have shield and warp, and then you'd have all of your core in here and space for perhaps additional generators. Now with Reforged Eden, you'll have the option of outfitting your core 9, and then again, you could go heavy with the shields, or you could go like a long range interceptor role and do like a warp shield and the Core 9. You also could go like some sort of a stopgap miner. If you want to do that, you'd be able to expand your cargo here to accommodate for that. So, yeah, pretty potent as a starter. Pretty comes in pretty cheap. This is a Reforged Eden cost right here. So you can imagine it's going to be cheaper as vanilla. Spawn level 7. And it should give you a good run. As you level up, it should level up with you as well, as long as you stay on top of this thing and feed it thrusters and weapons and everything to make it a beast. So yeah, so look forward to this here shortly. I've kind of worked out all the kinks with it, so should be popping up on the workshop here soon. Now, another thing I had going on was something in between the Taurus and the Minotaur. Well, I guess it would be after the Minotaur. So, you know, I guess the route would be you'd spawn in with an SV. If your first CV, you're looking for something Phoenix Star Works, then you could grab this guy. And then at that point, you have an option to go with this, which will spawn in at like, I'm aiming for like a Core 6. So somewhere between Core 6 and Core 9 for that spawn in. And after that, if you wanted to, or even you could go straight from the Taurus, is a frigate that I'm working on. So not quite an in-game ship, but something that you could use to get you that big monster that you want, right? So I'm going with advanced thrusters to keep the pricing low on CPU, so that way I can spend that CPU on turrets and give you a formidable firing platform. It's not going to be heavily armored. It will be a full encasement of steel. Now, there will be some reinforced areas around like the CPU and stuff like that. There will, however, be an extensive decoy system and armor system in the nose, right? So, you know, this whole run here is going to essentially be combat steel. So with this build, as long as you keep the nose towards the enemy, you should be able to give a good staying power for being such a low cost. You know, something to get you going, to get you farmed into that bigger ship. Now, you might be able to extend it even into some of the later stages of the game. Some pilots could potentially see that happen. I can certainly see myself being one of those. So yeah, so it will have advanced thrusters, but I am, you know, as with a lot of my other builds, I'm gonna give it a high range of modability. So like, you know, this whole section here could be swapped out for some drive thrusters to keep at least your forward and reverse thrust pretty potent. So I guess that's essentially about it. Not too much more development on the Drake or the Deathwing. I have still been doing some of the explosion mitigation stuff with this here. So this is not too far away from release. Okay, so potentially this one next week, along with the Minotaur. And likely this week will be this starter CV, which I'm calling the Sarissa. So, yeah, a couple of projects due out for a release here soon. Now, I did have something else going on, which I guess I'll show you here. Very early stages, obviously. So, when I was playing around with doing the SVs, I don't really do a lot of SVs, but I felt I would want something that could contest in-game. And with some of the forms I was doing, I really couldn't come up with something that looked nice and performed nice. Usually I'm comfortable in doing like a capital vessel setting. And this is this is great for a small fighter type build. It'll last you a good while, but for something in-game, I was trying to generate a form and I just wasn't liking what I was coming up with. So I just decided to go with what I'm comfortable with, and I figure with this, I'll make it kind of like an SV in a capital vessel form. So you could think like a patrol vessel or something with, you know, fully fleshed out interior, Maybe a little bit of RP stuff with like some bunks and you know, a little kitchen area and things like that. You know, just to give it some flavor to make it feel. There wouldn't be a cockpit. There would be a bridge with the open cockpit thing going on. So, you know, so to really kind of sell the notion of a small capital vessel. I might even put like a little landing pad on the back to land some smaller SVs, you know, maybe one of these guys. So, yeah, so, and this is something I'm excited for because I wanted to do one of these quite a while before and I never got around to it. I mean, I have 11 million projects going on, to be honest, but yeah, that's going to be a thing. Um, so there should be like, you know, a wide range of vehicles to choose from with this theme, this faction, Phoenix Star Works. So definitely excited about getting a whole run of these things fleshed out. So you have a complete playthrough from start to finish with these guys. So yeah, so look forward to that. I guess that's gonna do it. So thanks for checking it out, and if you'd like to stay informed about these builds and many others to come, please make sure to subscribe and also like us. This helps the channel grow. LyfeForce out.